Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime Series with me, Kevin Britz, proudly powered by leadershipbydesign.co, leading the charge with insights, information, and ultimately effective results. Joining me in today's marketing and leadership segment, marketing and communications expert and co-host, Craig Pagely. How are you doing, Craig?
Kevin, good morning. I'm doing great, thank you. It's a second day in a row that we're spending time together. Can you believe it, eh? Great.
Like Craig.
Great experience yesterday at Urban Brew Studios with the team expanding on our concept for the TV series, entrepreneurship docu-series we conceptualized late last year, and really good to work with another creative team, production team, to interrogate our thoughts and progress to formal discussions around the extra show format, number of episodes in the series, and actually how to go through the process and select a winner. So really excited about the follow-up session with them.
Yeah, I was just, when I got home yesterday, as I was driving home, I was thinking, the amount of impact that this could potentially have for people, from a perspective of what it could do for businesses, what it could, it's taking the Lunchtime Series to a whole nother level. And it's you and I are right there in the midst of it. And who knows how much impact it can. I'm pretty excited about this.
So, Kevin, we've covered such a huge amount of incredible content that is publicly out there on the web in great reports and documents. And it's, we've been crystallizing some of those thoughts and talking about them like the show today. And it's about bringing that together and formalizing that in a way that we can actually feed that through to these entrepreneurs who are going to be part of the show and hopefully help them progress their businesses and business ideas.
Yeah, and have them on the show, right?
Have them on the show, most definitely.
It's exciting, yeah. So, guys, if you want to know more, you're just going to have to keep listening. Moving back to today's show, what do we have in store for the listeners, Craig?
Yeah, Kevin, I want to expand on a topic that was referenced in two of the points from last week's conversation, where we discussed the 9 top marketing trends and strategies for 2024. And just to reference again, it was published by Coursera.com. The 2 trends in question focus specifically on the topic of artificial intelligence, these being trend 1, which was AI is boosting effectiveness and efficiency, and trend 8, AI-powered chatbots expanding conversational capabilities. So with those 2 trends in mind, I investigated how AI is directly impacting on marketing and comms, specifically through the use of Chat GPT, and what to look out for when trying to leverage its influence in the marketing mix. And it's a topic we've never really addressed in the levels of detail we're going to start discussing today. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of the really simple do's and don'ts that I came across on how to effectively use AI to inform and shape marketing these days.
Well, Craig, just not to reminisce too much, but when 2 years ago, when we started this conversation, part of our one of the conversations, at least, was, the jobs that AI is potentially going to be creating, we don't even know yet, right? And if we look at the rapid pace of what AI is currently doing and how effectively it's doing it, you kind of go, okay, cool. We're living in the future. Like, we're living, in the very conversation we had back then. And if I, even with Siri on iOS, on all Apple devices, Siri is getting such a boost because they literally incorporating open Chat GPT with Siri. So you can literally speak to your phone, and your phone can access every app on your phone and, help you run your life and your day.
And Meta is doing the same through WhatsApp and the other interfaces. So the minute you go into WhatsApp, the Meta question box appears, and so it's just becoming embedded in every part of our existence, Kevin. Absolutely.
I'm all here for it, Craig. Like, if I can speak to my phone and send an email without having to literally do something, it's gonna be, for me personally, it's gonna be efficiency at the top. At the best sort of perspective.
But the mobile network operators are really going to win in this regard in South Africa in particular, because everything is data expensive. So the more we're leaning into these propositions and platforms, the more data usage you're going to have. You're going to see an incremental increase in profits for the big mobile network operators.
But last thing I want to just say about it is for me, because I specifically work in human behavior, a large focus for me at the moment is to say, now that we know that, you know, AI is doing what it is, how do humans sort of incorporate it in efficiencies, and how can we actually work with AI to get to that? And, you know, so kind of instead of ignoring it, but rather saying, okay, we know it's there, it's not going away. How do we, as, you know, leaders and work environments, start using it so that it actually benefits our efficiencies and does life better for us?
Yes.
You know, constantly considering it. But Craig, so I mean, how is AI in the marketing mix, Craig? Because we have learned so much about it, but I'm sure there's a lot to this regard, and there's so much that we can start.
Yeah, Kevin, absolutely. There's a lot we've discussed, and you know, we can spend the rest of the year every week just chatting about the evolution of the proposition on a monthly basis. So I just want to take a step back and first introduce the concept of Chat GPT and AI. And so the three references, always like to look at a bit of a definition and see how they play up against each other. So the first here is, according to techtarget.com, ChatGPT is a form of generative AI, a tool that lets users enter prompts to receive human-like images, text, and videos that are created by AI. And I actually saw a really great example of this in operation yesterday, where a publisher was producing and sharing a really great piece of content, and they wanted a neutral image, and they put the inputs in and got the most effective real life looking character that was royalty free. It was just an incredible proposition to see being pushed out there with the article. Then, according to upwork.com, while both generative AI and ChatGPT use neural networks, their fields of implementation vary. Generative AI spans a broad spectrum of models and architectures, each tailored to distinct applications and capabilities, from image to sound generation. In contrast, ChatGPT specializes in text. And that was a really important clarification that I wanted to share there. Then, according to, you know, the default good old Wikipedia.com, ChatGPT is a chatbot and virtual assistant developed by OpenAI and launched in November 30, or at least on November 30, 2022. Based on large language models, LLMs, it enables users to refine and steer conversation towards a desired length, format, style, level of detail, and language. Successive users' prompts and replies are considered at each conversation stage as context. So this is about that iterative input to ensure that the context is there so you can get the correct outputs. ChatGPT, however, is credited with starting the AI boom, which has led to ongoing rapid investment in and public attention to the fields of artificial intelligence. And Kevin, a point that really stood out for me when looking at these definitions and doing some background research on the topic is the fact that by January 2023, ChatGPT had become what was then the fastest growing consumer software application in history, gaining over 100 million users and contributing to the growth of AI's current valuation in excess of, take note, $86 billion US.
Yeah, that's insane, Craig. I mean, and that's just within a year, from like by you know, January 23. It's one of the fastest consuming software applications. So, but what's interesting about that is, you know, most people that I speak to, a lot of people, and yes, I'm making a generalization, but a lot of people my age or older they just don't have. They either don't use it, or they just don't have a clue how to use it, and they kind of just veer away from it, right? And yesterday I was, you know, chatting to Lauren about, some CI documentation, and I sent her a picture, and I kind of asked her, so how do we get this picture into, you know, corporate identity, and how do we relate it? And she's and her answer to me was, well, why don't we ask ChatGPT? And I was like, well, yeah, you know, like, because potentially it could actually help us figure that out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to, you know, what's to come with this. But Greg,
and then just on that point, if you don't mind quickly, you know, the people are probably wondering, what does ChatGPT actually mean as a name? Okay,
yeah.
Do you know what it is?
No, I don't. No, just
okay. So it's chat generative pre-trained transformer, which refers to how the tool actually processes questions and then forms a response.
Okay.
And that's why it's so important to ensure that the inputs are defined and the machine learning on the background gets more honed and specific with more of the inputs, because it's the pre-trained component of the inputs that allows the adaptation and output in the form of a response.
Well, what's interesting as well, just as you're saying, it's, transforming information. Right at the bottom, if you look at the prompts, when you, especially ChatGPT 4.0 at least, right at the bottom of the page, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes, check important information.
Yes.
So again, it's not this whiz kid out there that's just going to solve every problem and just have every answer. You still have to go back and there is still human intervention that needs to take place.
Well, that's what I like about it. It's the reality check, getting back to ensuring the question and answer correlate in the correct way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that we have a bit of more information on the meaning, Craig, how is the ChatGPT used in the marketing mix? Because I'm sure that's also we could actually leverage that to a large degree.
Yeah, and Kevin, there are a lot of really deep articles on this. So I'm just going to, what we're going to discuss today is just a skimming on the top, but there's some really simple factual paragraphs of statement that give us insights as to how to begin to think about using it in marketing mix. So I want to open by referencing the book summary I came across titled Chat GPT for Marketing Pros, 10 Keys to Success. The book was published by Count Media and can be found on tradepub.com. And I'm going to directly reference the 10 key ways in which Chat GPT will change the world of marketing. And the first key success, or at least the first key to success, is that of personalized content creation with Chat GPT. And here we note the following. Businesses can create personalized and engaging content for their target audience by analyzing user data. ChatGPT can then generate content that is tailored to specific demographics and interests, leading to much higher levels of engagement and hopefully conversion. For example, ChatGPT could be used to create personalized email newsletters that include content that is relevant either to each individual subscriber or to those communities of interest that have been predefined on the back end.
Yeah. But Craig, so how do we? Because this is the ethical part, the ethical part that's sort of where I'm still having a slight problem. Is when people are if you are going to be personalizing your content and you're getting a machine to do it, where is there, especially in marketing, because you're putting your brand out there, you're putting stuff out there into public domain. How careful should we be to kind of go, is this real or is this sort of like created from a...
No, I think the most important thing here again is to understand, always in your strategy, your content strategy, is to understand what content is relevant to what segments of your audience at what particular point in time, where in the buying cycle they may be, where in are they in the front-end search proposition, on the back-end customer service proposition. So content has very different objectives in meeting the needs of the consumer in the experience value chain. And it's about ensuring that the input to create the content talk directly to that particular phase of the experience value chain. And then again, what is the baseline inputs that the ChatGPT has access to correlate and then refine the piece of content. And most important, Kevin, you don't just push out content willy-nilly. You have to have a moderation team in place to ensure that the content is talking specifically to the needs of that segment at that particular point in time, and that it's conversational. Because the one thing you want is you don't want unidirectional push. You want to actually create a conversation out of the content that you are feeding out there. So it is a powerful capability to extract inputs and create a thread of content, but it's still important for human intervention to ensure that the content is believable, ethical, and trustworthy, and that the audience is going to engage with it correctly.
Yeah, because essentially they're still going to engage with you. So if like, oh, I saw you said this in your marketing, you still have to know what the hell you're talking about, right?
Correct. Absolutely. So, Kevin, the second key to success is personalized content creation. And we note that it can help businesses automate social media management tasks, such as generating social media posts, build on the very point the question you've just had, responding to comments and analyzing data, very important point here. And we can dive into that later on. And this can save marketers a lot of time and resources while still maintaining that consistent brand voice across all the marketing channels. Take note, consistent brand voice. So it is about moderation, understanding the tonality and how it's being presented across the respective content channels. And again, each marketing channel or platform has a different objective in the conversation thread, and therefore being able to ensure that the content created and disseminated through that channel is tailored specifically for that particular platform and channel.
But Craig, also just listening to it from that perspective, generating social media posts, responding to comments, and analyzing data. Part of that is, isn't that the point of why the AI conversation is even happening, why it even exists? Because if we could leverage off an intelligence that can process and do stuff in real time, real quickly, it alleviates time for us to focus on what's more important.
I like that point, and that's why you'll see many organizations now really starting to bring data analysts into the organization. Organizations with big data sets, large audience bases, and consumer engagement bases, and it's about making sure that the analysts are putting the right inputs to get the right information out, and the AI is formulating in the back end. It's not a case of just putting a prompt into AI and tell it to give you some data. It's about understanding what data you have, how to read it effectively, and what further insights you want to leverage out of that, and then using the tool to bring that to the fore. And again, every single interaction and iteration is more input into the system so that you're getting deeper and more effective results coming out on the other side.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because I use ChatGPT often, but if you don't put the correct prompts into the actual, messaging,
Yes.
it gives you the wrong information. So
now apply that to data analytics. If you're not putting the right prompts into finding the right insights, you could be heading off in totally the opposite direction as to where you should be, the kind of content you should be using, the actual value of the audience that you're talking to, etc. So it's about having stronger, more effective data insights teams in the proposition.
Yeah.
Kevin, the third key to success is enhanced customer service, and this is a point that you and I talk about often, where where is AI relative to the chatbot world versus talking to a human being? But we note the following here: that Chat GPT can be used to provide 24/7 customer service support, answering customer inquiries in a more natural and conversational way, and this can definitely help businesses improve customer satisfaction and build trust with their audience. Most important factor. But again, it's about over time making sure, and as I said last week again as well, who's recording the telephone conversation in the customer service centers, and who's bringing that information into the digital world and starting to feed that into a chatbot proposition.
Because Craig, when you say enhanced customer service, I don't know a single person who wants to talk to a robot. I don't. I don't know anyone that says, "Oh yes, this is an AI. I definitely want to speak to the AI about my customer service." But if you had a service that was enhancing what the actual human is going to say and how the human will help you solve the problem, humans still want to be. It's a human need, right? We have love and connection is a human need that we have. We can't get past it.
So there's a deep conversation that can be had around that point, Kevin, and that is, what access do the call center agents have to information that can be AI generated, and how empowered are they to actually deviate off their decision trees and scripts to actually go and find further information that may be actually the key to resolving that particular customer need at that point?
Well, as it stands currently today, they don't. Many call centers just don't have access. They don't even have access to the internet. So,
and that's such a real point, and that really is when an organization understands the total end-to-end value chain of customer experience, there are moments in time where the trust and belief in the call center agent to empower them to go off script to find information is really an important factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin, the fourth key to success is chatbots for lead generation. And here we note that chatbots powered by Chat GPT can be used to engage with potential leads, answer their questions, and collect their contact information. And again, this just can help generate leads and move them through the sales funnel more effectively. Lead generation is always around form fill. It's about understanding the parameters that are in place, what is missing, what isn't, how do you use the machine learning to push it back to get more information, etc., so that as the lead moves through the sales funnel, it is more resolute, so that when it does get to that final human endpoint, all the inputs and key information is in place. So again, it's an iterative process, and there definitely are organizations that have mastered how to use chatbots to bring key information into place to actually then take you through to the human intervention. Have you seen this applied in any of the call centers that you've been working with?
No, not at all. So they are trying to sort of use AI to kind of get to more leads and people who are clicking where they are clicking, so to aggregate information. But there's nowhere there that I know of that AI is actually servicing clients or being some kind of measurement or sort of a part of the process yet. They kind of just use it to kind of, where do we get the data and how do we get the data to the call centers?
Yes,
that's forming how they deal with clients or how to do sales better or any of that, or how to get those leads pushed through as sales. But again, I think from a lead generating point of view, it would be really useful because sometimes clients ask a set of questions, and you can just have an artificial intelligence to kind of go, okay, so what is it that you want to talk about? Would you, and by prompting it like that, you could be answering and eliminating a lot of process until the person actually goes, okay, cool, now I actually want to speak to someone, and then puts through. Do it, but I think it needs to be effective so that it's not frustrating to the client.
Correct, and that comes with time, and the time to get that right is just shortening because it is becoming more used more regularly. Kevin, the fifth key to success is voice search optimization. Voice and sound is really a big development around us. With the rise of voice search, as you mentioned earlier, the Siri embedded into every aspect of the new iOS as well. Businesses can use Chat GPT to optimize their content for voice search queries. By analyzing user data, Chat GPT can identify commonly asked questions and generate content that is optimized for voice search. And as we mentioned last week, there's still a long way to go before we can wholly trust the correctness of information generated by ChatGPT, but this is definitely an area to watch and an area which is improving daily, and it's going to be fascinating to see the speed at which the adoption of Siri is now taken up through the new iOS.
Correct, but I mean, like I already, even beyond Siri, there are other applications like Copilot, ChatGPT-O. ChatGPT-O, you can literally download the app right now and speak to your phone and have an actual full-on conversation with ChatGPT-O. And he, like the application answers you in real time. So, and you can talk about just about anything.
Yes.
But also the Pilot Co, you can literally talk to your phone and say, please find the directions to wherever, and it literally spits out exactly what you asked. So the voice optimization is brilliant because it also, I use this feature in my car. So I don't read my apps. I speak my phone and tell it what to do.
Yes.
Because don't, text and drive, and rather
yes.
the thing and then have, use it while you can, like in that context. So I'm loving the fact that voice search optimization is such a thing because it literally is proficient and really helping with proficiency in what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, absolutely.
They then kind of don't think about it.
Kevin, the sixth key to success plugs into something that you're really familiar with, NLP, so natural language processing for SEO. And here we note that ChatGPT's natural language process capabilities can help businesses optimize their website content for search engines. By analyzing user internet and natural language patterns, ChatGPT can suggest changes to website content that can improve its visibility in search results.
Yeah, and I'm like when I saw that, I was like, excuse the pun with, you know, NLP being neuro-linguistic programming, because also, you know, what we do know is how you inform information and how you share information is vitally important for how the user receives information, right? And you know, from a sales perspective, that's what we're currently working on. We're looking at stuff like meta modeling and Milton modeling. And meta modeling in itself is, you know, clarifying questions. So very often people will make vague, distorted statements. You know, every time people phone me, you know, I get the same response. And you kind of every time people phone you, like, you have to be aware that, you know, because of a frustration or because of something not working for them, they use blanket statements like that. So the meta modeling is really wanting you to start unpacking, you know, what the person's really saying, so you can actually get to how to solve the problem for them. But also with the Milton Erickson information, it really gives you a set of questions that you can actually unpack information to a large degree, where you're actually informing the conversation quite specifically. But interestingly enough, the Milton model does exactly the opposite of the meta modeling, and that creates artfully vague questions. So, and to give you a normal example, Craig, is for car insurance, for example, people will say things, well, you know, Craig, we both know that having insurance is a really good idea, right? And
Yes.
just doing that, the subliminal intentional conversation I'm having with you is suggesting that you know that we both know that insurance is good for you, right?
So you've already moved them into another mind state.
Completely, right? So by using this, and also you're also specific about the tone of voice and how you're landing that, and subliminal messaging. There's front loading, and you know, front loading is a wonderful way of using language to kind of go. We know that 1 in 4 drivers in South Africa currently are not insured. Did you know that? Right? By immediately front loading a question like that, people go, holy shit, like, no, I didn't know that. That's insane. So, and then when you get that response, you're going, well, you know, this is why I'm phoning you, because sometimes you're going to be on the road, someone's going to drive into you, and then you got to pay it, right? And you don't know if that person's insured. So immediately by front loading that conversation, and comes back to that, you know, the NLP processing. But essentially, what's beautiful about the language is when you hear it to that degree, into that perspective, you start realizing that it's how we language information. That's what your brain's really doing.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And by being more specific and having AI really help you and support you do this, you can have a far more effective sales conversation and informative conversation when wanting to, specifically in sales. And, you know, I often joke, the guys that usually sell they call it the, not insurance, the guys that sell those long weekend stays, I can't think of timeshare. They are NLP like experts, because by the time you leave there, you've signed a document that's bound you for 20 years kind of thing. And, you know, kind of, you know, and you have to have your partner there. So, you know, it's all of that, but it's based in NLP because they know that it actually works.
Absolutely. And the beauty about this point from the natural language processing for SEO is really to have good continuous insights and analytics, technical SEO in the back end to really look at how users are navigating through your website. So creating those flow pattern in real-time touch points on the website to see that, you know, are there jump arounds on the website where they end up at a particular point, but they've actually gone through an arduous route to get there. Then you understand your website design may not be effective, because you see that there's a higher propensity of end users going to a particular area for, you know, that's the content that serves their need, but you're actually taking them through rather protracted journey to get there. So how do you move that information to a much earlier stage in the info find journey, or pull it up onto the front page kind of thing? So definitely huge benefits in improving the visibility of content in that regard. Kevin, the 7th key to success is improved data analysis. And here we note that ChatGPT can help businesses analyze customer data much more effectively. And by analyzing a large amount of customer data, ChatGPT can definitely identify patterns and trends that would be much more difficult for humans to detect. And this, again, can help businesses make more informed decisions about their marketing strategies and help with better targeting in their messaging, but also quicker turnaround in getting to that finite point.
Yeah, I know we shortened time today, Craig. So let's go through them 7, 8, and 9, and 10.
So the 8th key to success is enhanced content creation, and we note that ChatGPT can help businesses create content more efficiently by suggesting topics and generating outlines for blog posts, articles, and other content. This can save marketers time and resources while still creating high quality content. So again, yeah, take note is suggestions about, which means that the human intervention still needs to lean in and use the suggestions to ensure that they correlate with the needs and are correct for that particular moment in time. The 9th key to success is more inclusive and accessible content marketing. Simple point here, Kevin. By analyzing user data, ChatGPT can identify areas where the business may need to improve accessibility, such as using more inclusive language or providing alternative text for images. This can help businesses reach a wider audience and make their marketing materials more welcoming and inclusive. And a good technical SEO review in the back end of websites really can help highlight all of those meta links, H1, H2 threads that are not in place, the meta titles of imagery and things like that. And then Kevin, yeah, the 10th key to success is brand monitoring and reputation management. And here we note that ChatGPT can be used to monitor social media conversations and identify potential issues before they actually escalate. Moderation is key in this regard. By analyzing sentiment in these natural language patterns, again, ChatGPT can help businesses manage their online reputation and respond to customer feedback in a much more timely and appropriate manner.
Yeah. So these 10 are fairly easy to understand.
Yes.
So thanks for unpacking it, Craig. And with this in mind, what would some of the pros and cons be to ChatGPT? Because I think they are quite, they're quite on both ends of the scale.
Absolutely, Kevin. And there was a really interesting article on vodacombusiness.co titled the top 10 ways to use ChatGPT for your small business, and worth readers, our listeners reading the article. And it addresses the 2 questions in some data. The article was published to the Knowledge Center page of vodacombusiness.com, and the article provides a definition for ChatGPT. In this instance, it's defined as a state-of-art natural language processing model developed by OpenAI, and it's designed to understand and generate human-like text, making it an invaluable tool for content generation, data analysis, and customer iterations. And yeah, moving to the pros of using ChatGPT, Pro 1 is efficiency. So ChatGPT can accelerate content creation, data analysis, and customer interactions. It can save time and resources, and that in essence allows the user to focus on wider brand strategy, knowing the time-consuming tasks are being better looked after. 24/7 availability. It provides round-the-clock customer support through chatbots and virtual assistants, supporting your customer service activity with personalized and efficient responses. ChatGPT can definitely enhance your support and alleviate the customer pain points. Versatility, interesting word, used for a wide range of marketing tasks from content generation to data analysis. Very nature of ChatGPT is unparalleled and offers efficient solutions to support your marketing. Again, a point of data-driven insight. Helps extract the value insights from your customer data, and that leads to more informed marketing decisions. Error reduction, good point. Improves the quality of marketing materials by reducing human errors in writing and editing. It is still sensible to sense check all the content with a human touch. Scalability, ChatGPT can easily scale to accommodate the growing demands of marketing campaigns. More comments, more feedback, more input, using ChatGPT to be more responsive and pulling out some of the effective points to work with. And then moving to the cons of ChatGPT, Kevin, most important point it starts with here is quality control. ChatGPT often generates texts that's grammatically correct but factually incorrect, point you and I talk about often, or actually inappropriate. You must have human oversight to avoid any mistakes in your content. Lack of creativity, because it relies on patterns of data from existing text. ChatGPT is limited in its ability to actually generate true creative or original content. Again, it's about the input. Ethical concerns, very important. It's possible for AI models like ChatGPT to produce politically biased, unethical, or harmful content, which could potentially damage your brand reputation. Privacy issues, handling sensitive customer data must be done carefully to ensure privacy and security. Mishandling data could lead to huge legal and ethical issues, as you would know. Customer resistance, sure. Depending on the nature of your business, relying too heavily on AI for customer service may result in some of your customers actually going elsewhere. Key point you and I talk about often, that human connection and intervention. Limitations in understanding context. An AI model may struggle to understand the nuanced context or specific industry, language, tone, or jargon, leading to irrelevant or inaccurate responses. Now you know more about ChatGPT. Can you benefit? How can you benefit your business from it, and what to watch out for? You can feel confident in your ability to incorporate the tool in your marketing activities, Kevin. But yeah, it's obvious to state that it's a powerful tool. We know that it has huge benefits to business, but it definitely still requires a very important mix of human intelligence and balance in understanding the output. And therefore, using ChatGPT enables you to focus on your wider business objectives and goals. And it's there not only to enhance the user experience, but definitely can empower you to build connections with your audience, meaningful connections through the right conversation style, feeding the right content and meeting them in the right place at the right time. It's a versatile tool, and it can definitely elevate the marketing efforts and provide huge levels of efficiency and effectiveness, Kevin.
Yeah, Craig, one of the things from the cons that you mentioned that I think is so important is the bias and, ethical. If you're not looking at, and biases are not always obvious, so you have to be, you really have to consider, what exactly are you saying when you're using information. And if you're not looking through the information or checking the information that you are sharing, that can easily happen, and that can really, be bad for brands. That component, the component of ethical, because if you are putting it out into a public domain, and half of the time it's not you, you're like, well, how credible is this really? Right?
The trustworthiness coming to the fore there, definitely.
Yeah, so just to close off today, I think it's a fantastic conversation. So, top 10 ways to use ChatGPT for your small business. The link will be in the Dropbox. Thanks for that, Craig. And how to use ChatGPT for small business marketing. We will share that in the links today. But the quote for today says ChatGPT isn't just a tool. It's a bridge connecting human curiosity with a vast expanse of digital knowledge, transforming how we seek and share information. And that's from itself, ChatGPT 4.0.
That's fantastic. I love the way you ended that.
Craig, thank you, guys. If you want to check out more what we do, it's on all your major podcast channels. Please remember, like and share, and tune into Lunchtime Series every week, Wednesday and Thursdays, for more. For myself and Craig, have a fantastic week. Thanks for that, Craig, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, Kevin. Yeah, thank you. Have a good week ahead.
You too. Chat to you soon. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.